Hey, everybody, welcome to our final show of 2023.
This
I'm here with Luis Ruiz. Welcome to What's Up Wrestling. Luis, do you realize this is our 20th episode? We somehow got 20 episodes done with your schedule in mind,
Yeah,
and I'm very impressed. I don't
yeah.
think we could even get 20 done.
When we first started, I was like, damn. I was like, we did the first episode, and I was like, this is like, we gotta schedule what we're gonna do, what exactly we're gonna talk about. But I think if anything, it's gonna get even easier because I'm starting to get a lot more free, and I only have one semester of college left. So then it'll be I got a brand new setup that's gonna be up in a few days. So it'll be we should be
So
able to
we
get
should
more.
just tell we've got more in store for
We should be able to
2024.
get more content in 2024.
Right. Because it's
Yeah,
hard, it's
yeah,
hard with our schedules. I'm doing a completely different thing and you're in school and then trying
yeah.
to match up. So this is your final semester coming up,
Like this upcoming spring, and then I'm done. And I go,
and then
then
you're gonna be a big producer and journalist and
that's
television host, and
that's the goal.
that's the goal. Well, everybody, thank you for joining us. This is a very special edition. Of course, we were not going to leave 2023 without picking our top 10 best and worst moments in WWE and AEW, in pro wrestling in general, in a year that was so insane. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember, and I was going to tell you, like, since the Attitude Era, I don't remember the popularity of wrestling being like this. I don't remember all the stuff behind the scenes. And I think with social media, it's like just blown up. I don't know what your overall
Yeah,
spectrum of it is.
whenever I talk about wrestling, it's like honestly super cool because like I said in the past, I used to be so shy about wrestling. I never wanted to talk about it. Um, and now I talk about it and people see like now I'm very public about what I do. I do the interviews and stuff. And people see that and they're like, "Oh my God, I've been watching for the past 6 months because all it does is pop up on my TikTok." So there's so many more people that are into it again, and I honestly think if you're gonna get back into it, I think this is a perfect time.
100%. And I always felt like the common denominator in that secret thing that people liked was wrestling. And when
Yeah.
you see the millions of people and the numbers that they're doing, I don't care if they say they're not. Well, I feel like people are
You
checking it
can
out.
see the best thing I like to see is that like when I'm at school and my roommates are there and they know wrestling, like they know John Cena and Randy Orton, but they don't watch it. And I watch like old highlights and they're like, "Oh my God, like that place has 80,000 people in it. Like how do they get that many people?" And they don't understand like how many people really care and watch like the product that will go pay their money and go sit there in an arena for 4 hours. That's why I think it's super cool because people don't realize, how big it really is. And I think people are starting to realize now like what it's become. And it's skyrocketing. It really is.
And I was just going to say, I was hoping to do this before we had this, but the Iron Claw opened last night.
Yeah.
I'm dying to see it.
And
Um,
I'm
I've
trying
heard
to feel it.
I've
Yeah.
heard mixed reviews of it, which kind of upset me,
Yeah.
because I really wanted them to tell the story of these
It's
brothers.
done. I heard it's done well with like the Rotten Tomato score is like 89%. So I mean, I know the critics really like it. I know that what I've read online is that the wrestling fans aren't as happy about it. That like you're saying, the people that know the story, they don't know how well they really did. I mean, I haven't seen it yet, but I'm gonna go
I don't
see it
want. I'm
very
going to
soon.
reserve judgment and make my own
Yeah,
opinion.
but
Some of the
that's basically what I've heard.
right. Well, when I read some of the reviews from like the trades, the entertainment trades, and they're
Yeah.
basically saying it should have felt, and I have not seen it, so I'm not, but they're saying it should have felt more impactful between the brothers, and they didn't feel that.
Yeah.
That's what they're saying. I don't know. I don't know, but we'll see.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna see it on Tuesday because it's like
I hope
five
to see
bucks.
it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it too. It's either
Yeah.
like Monday or maybe
Because then I
Christmas.
said I said we'll see it and then we'll talk. We'll have a show about it.
I think we need to have a show about it too. I'm really interested in seeing it. All right. So we're here to do the best and worst of 2023. Now I'm talking both WWE and AEW combined. What is our list? So we have the worst.
I will admit mine's a little WWE heavy, but I did throw MJF. I did throw a couple MJF AEW in there, but
I will say that my best moments are very heavy WWE
yeah,
and my worst moments. So I will say that, but there are some clunkers in WWE I have too. But the question I have for you is, which would you like to start with? Do you want to do our best or our worst?
um,
You want to do best? or
I
worst?
would like to start with best because I think the worst list is kind of funny. So I think that it would be
Okay.
good to end with.
Okay. So why don't we go down now? If we both have it,
Yeah.
we reveal that we have, or should we just do your number
I
10,
think
mine?
we'll start with 10 and then we'll just
We'll
keep
each do our
going.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Number 10. Do you want to do your number 10
Yeah.
for the top 10 of and then also I have some honorable mentions that didn't
Yeah.
make.
So I was gonna say, like, it's obviously hard to like genuinely feel like my top 10 really could mix and match, except for number
Too.
one. Like
Me
except for my
too.
first one.
Yep.
So like I there was just some that I couldn't really I just went personal bias on some of them where that's why I ranked some of them higher.
Yep.
But so number 10, I know it's a kind of a broad thing, but I just went MJF's title run because I had to put MJF in there. And I know he has a lot of moments in his title run, but I just felt like the other things I have on my list later kind of outweighed certain moments in MJF's title run. So that's why I just put, I just think that MJF has brought AEW to a different level. And they, once again, I know people are seeing the rumors he hasn't signed yet, whatever. All I'm saying is that they can't let him leave because it wouldn't go too well. So I just had MJF as a whole, his big belt title run as number 10.
Absolutely. And without MJF, I think that will be, I mean, he has saved
Mm-hmm.
the that show. I'll get into my MJF in a minute. I have at number 10 Bray Wyatt's shocking death that rattled pro wrestling and the impact it had on the WWE and pro wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
And I noted the August 25th SmackDown. I thought that was just really touching when they honored him
Yeah.
with emotional clip package. And then you saw people on Instagram, the wrestlers with tattoos. I just remember talking to you. We were just stunned that Bray had died. I'm not talking Bray's death as the top 10. I just feel like they handled it really well. I
It was
thought they,
all that, yeah, that
um,
tribute show.
you
Yeah, the
know,
show that they had was unreal. Like it was
I
one of
just
the,
meant
yeah.
they came out and they all stood there, and
And it
then
was what, the next day basically, so
it
they
was
had to
the
do all that.
25th. It was the 25th on SmackDown, and I just thought that that transcended culture, television, and I thought they did a great job.
Yeah, that's a good one. I
Yeah.
like that one.
Okay, number 9,
All
Luis.
right. I have Gunther breaks the Intercontinental title reign. That's what I had. Just the day that he broke it, the Honky Talk title reign. Gunther has been. I think if we did like MVPs of 2023, like best people, I think he'd be one on my list. Honestly, like he's skyrocketed. I wouldn't be surprised if he is one of the Rumble favorites or guys at the end. So I think he deserves the big championship. I think eventually he'll win it. So we'll see what happens next. But that's what I had at 9.
He's amazing. And I never thought when he first came on it was going to go this way. But you could see him being even a face.
Yeah, and I think they're starting to tease that a little
Because
bit.
he's a legit, because the deal with him, how many guys can you go, you're a legitimate wrestler. You are really that great. Like he's a legit.
Yeah, no, he's awesome, and he has so many finish. He does like 4 different finisher moves, like literally 4. It's insane.
So my number 9, I have a tie because I tried to throw them in. So I've got MJF at 9, his reign, but thrown into the story with Adam Cole because he became the people's scumbag and turned face. I
Yeah,
thought the fact that he was able to turn this around to being the most hated jerk, and
yeah,
then now they love him. It shows the power of kind of wrestling. And if they want to get behind you, and I think you made this comment on one of the shows, heels are not really heels anymore. We root for them. It's
yeah,
very,
and
I
that's what
think,
makes it a problem because it's like people will
right?
get mad and all that stuff, but that's just that's just how we are. We kind of root like Punk's not a baby face, but we like him like so that's why it's MJF more than anybody. He really does know how to fit that role of still being like a jerk, but getting behind the crowd.
Now he's like the lovable jerk,
Yeah.
which is amazing. And also, I had a tie though. This moment to me was so insane. I have Logan Paul and Ricochet's midair collision at SummerSlam. That moment when I was like, I had to put that down because I felt I haven't seen that. Like that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I honestly forgot about that one. That was pretty good.
I mean, remember when I can't remember, were
I
you
was there.
you were there. So
Yeah,
you saw it.
yeah.
But what did it look like live?
It was it did
I
it
was
was
like, what?
It was crazy. And like another one they had was also at SummerSlam when they did the Spanish Fly off the apron. It was even that was also like insane. They had a couple good moments. I
I
forgot.
could I was doing this and I was like, wait, I remember, of course I knew you went to Backlash. I'm like, wait, did Luis go to SummerSlam?
Yeah.
That was so amazing to me. I remembered it like in my head. Okay. Number 8.
Number 8, I went with Seth Rollins beats AJ Styles for the World Heavyweight Championship. And the reason I had that was because I think I wanted Seth on here anyway, but I also think that was just the best moment because that's what kickstarted his title run that I think has been great. I mean, I think he's been awesome. He's been the best, I think personally the best title on the show in both shows. He fights every day, and we talk about it all the time. Seth Rollins deserves his flowers
Flowers.
every single day. So
I just think Seth is the greatest, and I literally do in
yeah.
every aspect.
Same thing as Gunther. I think if we were doing top 10 wrestlers of 2023, he'd be one or two or three. So I mean, yeah. So I have Seth Rollins on wins the World Heavyweight Championship at Crown Jewel.
And I'm really glad. The only comment I have on that is that thank God that they were smart enough to realize Seth is their guy.
Yeah.
Because it already felt weird to me that Seth wasn't being elevated to Roman level.
Hmm. And I
So
think he is now. Like if they were to fight now, like just one on one, it would be even bigger than I think the biggest match they've ever had.
I have my number 8. I have Randy Orton returns. And the reason I have Randy Orton returns is not that I thought it was such a stunning thing. I'm just so down with a man that had double fusion back surgery, which I've had,
Yeah.
back to the ring, looking like that. I thought he was down and out. I literally didn't think with the rumors he's going to come back. But after almost 2 years and looking like that and coming back and going through that is amazing. I just can't even imagine the insanity to decide to go back after that. But he's loved, right? So
And
I had Rand.
he's loved, and he's insane because he loves wrestling more than I think anybody like does at this current time. He was even on, I don't know if you saw it, he was on Logan Paul's podcast, which I watched all of their episodes, and he said like he's like, this is my life. He's like, I don't want to do, even if I had the opportunity, he's like, I don't want to go to Hollywood. He's like, I want to be here till I'm 50. He's like, that's not what he's like, I'm a wrestler. He's like, I'm not a movie star. So he's like, my goal, he's like, I got a 2-year break, basically. And he's like, I thought he's like, I got a second lease on my career. So he's like, why would I not try to be here as long as possible?
There is
And
nothing.
I'll be honest, obviously, like I said, I'm wearing a freaking John Cena t-shirt.
John.
And 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 I think out of anybody, if I had to choose one that would break Ric Flair's record, I think it should be Orton. More than Cena at this point. Because Orton's 2 away, so we'll see what happens.
Do you think it's gonna? I think it's gonna be Randy against. I mean, they set it up last night on SmackDown. It's got to
I
be Orton.
what I'm hoping as a fan, which I've seen rumors about, is that there's some type of interference on Friday, and then it's a fatal 4-way at Rumble, which would be absolutely
That would be
insane.
insane.
I feel like you have to do the fatal 4-way because one, you can save Roman and he doesn't have to get pinned. Like I
Elena
mean,
back in the picture. Then
Roman can pin somebody else, and you save Orton, you save Styles, whatever, and you get to keep all of the guys happy, like Orton, Styles, LA Knight. Like I don't think either of them should win clean. I definitely would like to see a fatal 4-way. I think that's just the best way to go.
okay,
So
number 7.
I have Sami Zayn turns on Roman Reigns at the Rumble. That and honestly, I wanted to put it a lot higher,
I
but
have him higher. I
I
have it
just couldn't because
higher.
of this other stuff I have there.
I had
But
it higher. I have the whole Sami Zayn thing higher. But
yeah,
I'll say mine.
yeah, but yeah,
Unbelievable, the best. It was so
the
fantastic.
pop. We were on watching on TV, and the pop that we heard that night was insane. It was probably one of the best storylines of WWE history. So I mean, it was just
Now,
awesome
what
to
do
see.
I do? Do I just wait to reveal where I place it?
Yeah, I would say just
Okay.
wait.
All
Yeah.
right. But I agree that was phenomenal. It was the best storytelling from a storytelling perspective. The Sami Zayn entire story with the bloodline
Talk.
was
Yeah.
amazing. And remember, wasn't the Usi moment too?
Yeah. Yeah. We talked about, I mean, it's crazy. We talked about like that moment right there, the whole thing. Because think about that, the way that the whole like I'm not gonna call it scene, I guess, segment was like 30 minutes long. Like it was like, and there was no microphone the whole time. It was just talking. And that right there was exactly why I think people get hooked on wrestling. And that's why I like WWE better because I like to watch that more than like the honestly, I thought that was more entertaining than the whole Rumble pay-per-view itself. Like it was, that's why I like it so much.
And you make a really great point. The whole thing that these guys do when they're talking about like when you're with a producer, the person that's mapping out the match with you, they're
Yeah.
telling the story through the move, like you're telling the story. And that one really was amazing. Okay. My number seven, I had Io Sky cashes in SummerSlam. And I just remember, oh, good. She had the heat. Everybody wanted her to have the belt,
Mhm.
and she did. You were there.
Yeah.
What was it like? You don't
The
like
crowd,
it? It's not
they
good.
were actually they were chanting. So that was when Bianca won again because she had lost. Bianca lost to Asuka at Crown Jewel, and then Bianca won it back that day, and they were booing like crazy,
I
and
know they're moving it
they were
backlash.
chanting for Io, and then Io came out and won, and even though she was the heel, she was getting blown off the building. So I mean, we were all excited about it. I love Io. She has one of the best entrances, and I think once again, this is like kind of off topic, but in general, the with EO like being the champions that are right now and the storylines with damage control and the rumors that I'm hearing of Sasha Banks possibly wanting to come back and
The
Gilia
money
also,
issue because she wants the same money as Charlotte.
yeah, they are that WWE roster is like absolutely stacked.
Insane,
It's
insane. And
insane.
I do have her. Well, I won't say, but let's not forget the trash can over the head moment with Io Sky at Survivor
Yeah,
Series because I have that later in my honorable mention. But that was insane. I think she deserved it, and I love the fact that, to your point with Damian Priest, nobody's like what she cashed in.
yeah.
What's going on
And it
with
was
Io?
a perfect moment. It was honestly perfect because they now she's had the title for a while, and I personally think, but I think when Bailey wins, that's what the match at Mania is going to be. I think it's going to be them two.
Bailey and them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, number six.
I have, which it hurt me to not put this a lot higher, but I just couldn't. But it was honestly, I would say this is the one that I think deserves to be a lot higher. But it was the best for me personally. The best moment as a fan was Bad Bunny's entrance slash Bad Bunny versus Damian Priest at Backlash. It was the whole thing, the whole match, the Carlito return, the entrance with the new music, Damian Priest's entrance, Sadio Vega being there, the LWO. It was one of the best things I've ever seen as a wrestling fan ever. It was awesome, and I remember just texting you about how awesome it was in person, and I just couldn't get
I
over it.
couldn't believe it. And
Yeah,
I have uh, he, he's a bit
yeah,
higher. Okay. Number six, I have a tie because I couldn't fit everybody in. I actually put Hangman Adam Page and Swerve Strickland's Texas Death Match because I could not believe what I was watching.
yeah,
It was like the craziest thing, and everyone raved about it.
yeah.
I mean, if you're a WWE fan, people were raving about that match. It was
Oh, I
so
loved it.
great.
I was like hooked.
They like really sold it. It was
Yeah.
insane. I thought that was an amazing match.
Yeah, that I told you that match was like the one where I was like, wow, I can really get behind this. It was like so cool to see. It was a really cool match.
And I think Swerve is the next champ.
I think he should be the next face of AEW if MJF does go away for a
Yeah,
little bit
that's what
because
I'm
he's injured.
thinking too. I'm
Yeah.
thinking too.
You
And
can
I
put
had
this like they're even playing like I was saying, they're even playing his music like at football games. Like it's like
it.
he's yeah,
Yeah,
they love his song. It's
love his.
awesome.
And I tied him because I didn't know where else to put this. I'm putting LA Knight's Ascension
Yeah.
because I've never seen that either. Like this guy
For a
was
42-year-old.
42-year-old Maxim model like manager guy. They ruined him with this whatever his thing was. And
Yeah.
then he became LA Knight and he just became this thing, which kind of to me would not have happened without the WWE universe behind the guy.
Yeah. I that the LA Knight's whole thing has been very cool to see, especially as somebody that like, he was like nothing. And then that they had the whole Vince McMahon was still there. He had him as a manager, and then Triple
Oh,
H
that
changed.
was so bad.
Yeah.
I just remember when he punched out the Maxim male models and then moved.
Yeah.
It's like, all right, number 5.
I have Will Ospreay versus Kenny Omega. It
This is so great.
uh, it could possibly be.
Wait,
I
wait,
hate
wait,
it.
wait, wait. I'm sorry. Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega was at All In was Chris Jericho, right?
Chris Jericho, yeah.
I had that. Okay.
Yeah, not that one. The which was also okay. It was a pretty good match, but I forgot. Honestly, I couldn't find it. I was trying to figure out which pay-per-view it was at, but it was the one. It was the big one that they had, and yeah, I had Osprey versus Omega. It was I
Insane.
I was like this staring at the screen. I couldn't even I couldn't even get over it.
But
And honestly,
Ospreay,
I knew about Osprey. I'd seen him before or whatever, but that was the match where I was like, wow, he's like he might be the best wrestler in the world. Like that was the one where it got me like, wow, this guy like needs to be shown a lot more. And yeah, I had to put it on here.
I think I have Will Ospreay in here too. He is the best wrestler by far. I've never seen anyone like him. He has it all. My number 5 was Bad Bunny at Backlash.
Mhm.
I just could not believe. I watched it back the other night. I'm like, he's wrestling Damian Priest and doing these moves. The entrance, the the match. He was incredible.
Yeah,
Damian Priest Bad Bunny match was
he's
incredible.
a he, and I think part of that is because he's such a performer. And at the end of the day, that's what these guys are. Even though they're putting on a performance, and he gets it. Like more than these other celebrities get it. He gets it. Logan Paul gets it. But Logan Paul doesn't have like a he's good in the ring, but like his entrance isn't as crazy. Like Bad Bunny knows how to get the crowd going. He came out to the song that knew that the hometown crowd would get everybody fired up. It was insane.
Even
That
and I was and what I loved about him, he knew how to play it. And talk about entertainment. He put the figure 4 on Damian Priest, and he's
yeah,
going like,
yeah.
come on. He's like
And
selling
like
that
we
so
like
good.
we said, this Damian Priest deserves just as much credit as he does because you have to have a lot of trust in somebody to do that match with Bad Bunny, and I'm glad they went with him.
And I thought Damian Priest worked with Bad Bunny on it. Didn't they
Yeah, no,
work?
they did. They he said that Bad Bunny was more like he wanted him to talk. They were trying to figure out everything for hours. Like Bad Bunny was like super hyped, and supposedly Bad Bunny's gonna be. He's one of the people that I think might be in the Rumble as a surprise.
That would be amazing.
Yeah,
I love the fact that he's willing to go there and risk it, even though
yeah,
he has a global world tour
yeah.
as a
No, he loves it. Yeah, he loves it.
he loves it. That's the thing with Logan Paul. He loves it. Bad Bunny completely loves it. When you were there, though, I just want to say I feel wasn't it the best of all the pay-per-views?
I like, and yeah, if we were doing a list for best pay-per-views of 2023, not even just ones that I've been to, but it does help that I was there. That was the best pay-per-view that I've ever been to. Me personally, it was better than Mania. It
I
really
had
was.
Backlash better than Mania
I
as
do think that if I am attending Royal Rumble, I think that'll probably be the best one, just because the Rumble is more fun and like it's like cool to be there.
yeah.
But I've been to a Rumble. I went to the Rumble that was in Philly, and I still think that Backlash was the most fun I had at a pay-per-view because it was like a party. Like the crowd was ridiculous.
It was ridiculous.
It was insane.
Yeah, amazing. Okay, number 4.
I have The Rock returns to SmackDown. Really?
I
Yeah,
have The Rock makes a surprise return to SmackDown.
yeah. I had to. It's like it was one of those where I was like, I have to put it here, and it should be high, but it's not like one,
I
two, and
know.
three.
I did the same
So I'm
thing.
gonna throw it on four just because it was insane.
4, 4.
Yeah,
I thought that was great. And then The Rock tweeted me. So I mean, I'm great.
yeah. No, you had to. You had to.
It was so funny. I'm like, wait, he retweeted like what?
I couldn't even when I saw it, I was like, oh my God, I was like, it's him.
I said like this
I
is the
clicked
greatest
back
thing
and forth
ever.
like 5 times.
I thought I was like, I'm like, but this isn't really Dwayne. And then like, no, it is Dwayne.
He
It
called you
was
Mike. I was like, oh, this guy knows
Mike.
him.
And it's really funny. They used to call me Mike.
Yeah, it's just funny. Maybe he does. It's cool. I mean,
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
I don't know. I just thought that was the coolest thing of the year.
Yeah, no, that's like number one on your number one is
Number one on my list
The
is The Rock tweeting
Rock
me.
tweets. No, my number one is Cody Rhodes.
Cody,
Cody Rhodes
Cody,
retweets my
Cody,
little brother.
your brother. Can you believe this?
Yeah, it's
Who would
crazy.
think we would have had that? All right, my number 4 was The Rock. My number 4 was The Rock. All right, so number 3.
I have the Intercontinental Triple Threat match at WrestleMania between Sheamus, Gunther, and Drew McIntyre.
Unbelievable.
I actually think it's match of the year, personally. So that's why I liked it. Um, I know it's high on some people's list, but I just thought that like I
It
was
was a
there also
great
there.
match.
We were there in person, and it was insane to watch.
Okay, my number three was the moment that Jey Uso turned on Roman, super kicked him, and said, "So guess what? You're out, and I am too." And then he
Yeah.
like super kicked him.
Mhm.
I thought that was great. I
The
loved
only reason the
it.
only reason that I took that off, I actually so I had that on my list. The only reason I took it off was because I hated the way that they just kind of went back on that and then had Jimmy turn on Jay. So it was like,
I just I
yeah,
agree. I've hated it ever since. I just love that. I'm looking at
the
that
moment.
moment
Yeah, yeah.
because why was it great? Because Roman sold it like, oh, you
Yeah, he
know,
like died in the ring. It
and
was
the
it, yeah,
way
it
that
was
Jay did it was great too. Like it was a whole story about, you always went to prom. You were the lead brother. Like he's going off on
yeah,
Jimmy, and then the whole thing was a ruse, and they give
yeah.
company.
Um,
So I had it in number three because I just like, so guess what? I'm out. I just thought the
yeah.
whole thing was good. All right. Number two.
For my two, as much as at the so this is me maturing as a wrestling fan because I was very upset with this decision at the time, and now it's number two on my list. But it's Roman beats Cody at WrestleMania.
Mm,
But the only reason I kind of got over it, and I actually think it was a lot smarter, was because I just at the time didn't think I was like, how are they gonna have Roman hold it for another year? Like, what are they gonna do?
I just remember us, everybody there, because I was in the crowd for that
Everyone
point.
was like,
We're like this.
yeah,
Like it
this
was
was
just
all
like,
right. Cody's gonna win. So
Cody's
then
gonna win. Yeah.
the only reason I like it now is because I think if Cody wins now at WrestleMania this year, it'll be better than last year. I think they did a good job with what they with their way of making the fans happy.
The way that it worked, the shot that I remember the takeaway was what I posted on social media was that shot of Cody in the ring looking devastated.
Mhm.
He didn't do it.
And you can already see like if he wins this year, they're gonna show that it's gonna be like a whole compilation.
Right. It was a great match. I was just at first I'm like, what are we watching here? But yeah. My number two is going back to what you said. It's the whole Sami Zayn thing. I had Sami Zayn turning on Roman at the Royal Rumble with the chair shot, but also KO and Sammy winning the tag titles at WrestleMania. I thought
Yeah,
that was finally the payoff. We were
yeah.
rooting so hard for them after everything that went down against the Usos. That was the one big payoff at WrestleMania, and that looped the whole story around. And what they did after that was absolutely horrid. They literally ruined it.
Well,
But
that's why
I
even
had
though
it, but as a moment, I put it all
as a
together.
moment,
Right?
yeah, but then
That is
Sammy and
the
KO
story.
got very stale very quickly, which I thought was miserable.
The whole that was horrendous. But them winning, at least they culminated the story.
Yeah.
But I loved the Sammy story. Again, is he as popular as he was then? Because people were going crazy for him back
No,
then.
I mean he's definitely not. I mean, when you're involved with like the Bloodline storyline, that's why LA Knight is also still so popular. I think that's part of it, but it's hard to like keep up your, what you're doing. But I think Sami Zayn's still a big face. I could see him, you know, trying to win the championship or IC championship when it's off Gunther.
Okay, number one. Let me
You,
guess.
you think we have the same one?
Probably.
CM Punk returns to WWE. I mean, it's nothing. Yeah, it wouldn't really be anything else.
How can you not?
Yeah, I mean,
Were you not the happiest person in the United States?
yeah, it was kind of crazy. I mean, I just didn't think it would ever happen 10 years ago. And then like, what was I? 11-year-old me thought I would never see him again, and then he's there.
It was incredible. And what was so incredible about it was,
Nobody knew.
well, either we're really dumbasses or I don't know, but like it seemed like nobody knew.
We literally didn't go for that reason. We didn't go because we thought he wasn't going to be there.
Do you want to do top 10 stupidest moment of the year? That is,
I
I
was so
literally,
mad.
I literally was so mad. I just have your text that I want to say from all time. You're like, oh my God.
I don't even think I wrote English.
It was like, oh my God. And I'm like,
Yeah,
and it's like, I'm watching this and I'm like, but it was so perfectly timed because there was a little bit of time left in the show,
But they
and they're
brought up the thing, and I was like, all right,
brought up
it's
the thing. They're
over.
like, "Oh, you little tricky people," and
Yeah,
then um, but this just showing you. Think about all the people that said we don't want CM Punk back in WWE. We don't
yeah,
want him back. It's the top thing.
yeah.
Most views of all time of
We
anything.
were talking about like we kept talking about, oh, do they need him? Do they want him? Will he work there? It didn't even matter. It was like they, it was, yeah, they want him and they would need him, and now he's there and he's making money.
Wait, we have a comment. Hold on. From Classic Randoms Clips Man, who said Kenny Omega's sickness is for real. I had a foot and a half of my colon taken out 10 years ago. It was a scary disease and nothing to play around with. We
Yeah,
know
he
he's
has,
sick. Yes,
yeah,
he's in the hospital.
yeah. I think they supposedly had the same. It was kind of the same thing as Brock Lesnar had when he was the first time he got sick.
So I have some honorable mentions. Do you?
Yeah,
Of
I have a couple.
okay, so I'll give you all right.
Yeah, you go.
Okay, here are my honorable mentions. I actually put the Cody Rhodes documentary in here because I
Mhm.
thought he opened up the story. It really helped. I just thought it was such a great documentary. I loved the whole thing. Like I thought it was great. And it all attaches to finishing the story. I had the Women's Survivor Series match with Bianca, Charlotte, Becky, and Shotzi and Damage Control because to me that was the best match of Survivor Series.
Yeah.
It was incredible. I had your girl Selena Vega at Backlash versus Rhea Ripley when she had that moment in Puerto
Yeah,
Rico in front of her home.
that was
And
awesome too.
it was
Yeah.
so real. Like that was a real moment. I had the drunken press conference of Cody
Oh my
Rhodes.
God, I forgot about that. That's awesome. That was great.
I have WWE merges with Endeavor to become TKO and Vince McMahon isn't in charge.
Which has opened up a lot of possibilities.
I had Will Ospreay, period, but I at All in London because I remember him wrestling Jericho, but I just remember him being in front of his home crowd in England and what a phenomenal performer he was. I had the title run of Orange Cassidy, which he was fantastic. And I just had Seth Rollins. And I had All in London, big stadium. I never thought AEW would even pull that off.
Yeah, those are good ones.
What do you have? That's what I got.
So I had a couple. I had so like you said, I also had the women's Survivor Series match.
Amazing
'Cause
match,
I wanted to put it in there, but I was like, it's not really a moment, it's just a
but it
match.
was so
It
good.
was awesome. I had it's funny, I actually had Brock Lesnar, Cody Rhodes at Backlash just because I thought the crowd was so into it, and they honestly treated it like like the main event it was. And yeah, the match wasn't great, but the crowd was so behind Brock Lesnar. I thought it was kind of funny because like they were cheering him. Then Brock Lesnar stayed in the and like kind of looked at the fans. I thought it was pretty cool. Um,
I have
I
something to
so
say about that later. I'll wait. Go ahead.
so I also had the what's it called? The men's showcase match at WrestleMania, which I thought was insane. The tag team showcase match.
Oh yeah.
Because it kind of like no one thought anything. That was the match I almost went to the bathroom for. And then it ended up
Oh
being awesome.
great.
Yeah, it ended up being like super good. I was like, oh, this is a really good match. Like this is really cool.
That's a
So
good one.
yeah, I like that one. I also had Zelina Vega's moment that she had with her
What
because
was
just
that like being there for
it
that?
was so emotional. It was honestly more emotional than anything because it was just super cool to see her, there with the wings or the
Puerto Rican
garlands.
flag, right?
Yeah, it was honestly super. It was really cool. And then I also had I had Randy Orton returning because I didn't have that one on my list, but I had to put that one in there. The only
Did
reason I didn't was because like I knew he was coming back, so I was like, all right, it's not surprised.
I just gave him the spot only because of the back surgery element. Like
Yeah,
I feel
it's
it's
a personal thing.
it was a personal thing.
Yeah,
Not that I would love to be clear. It's a personal thing. It was not like, oh, this return is so exciting because we knew he was coming back. Correct. It wasn't the actual, it was just the fact that he actually came back.
came back and is
I'm like, what are you
a
doing?
full time wrestler.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
I'll
These
admit, my worst list is very funny, but
minus two. You go. All right. Ready? Here we go. So wait, hold on. Okay, there's a question for you
Yeah.
from Classic Clips Man. He said, "Do you think Cody and others will still be in line for a shot at Roman, or do you think Punk will take the spot now? If Punk does take the spot of Cody and others that have worked for years, it's wrong."
I think Punk will be with Roman. I mean with Rollins before that. So I think it'll be Cody at Mania again.
You do?
Yeah. Cody against Roman.
All right. Here we go. Top 10 worst moments. Your number 10.
It's very vague, but I just remember it because I remember being so bored, and it was Ronda Rousey versus Shayna Baszler. I remember texting you the UFC rules match, whatever. I was like, what the hell am I watching right now? I was because once again I was there, and it was like
Remember
this.
it like it was just nothing
No,
happened.
like I don't. No one knew what was going on. It was just
It's
punching, and then all of a sudden Ronda Rousey tapped out. I was like, "What am I?" It was terrible. Honestly, it could be a lot higher on this list, but I didn't.
I would put that was such a stinker. I was like trying to figure out why that happened though.
It was so bad. It was
Were they just
terrible.
mad about it? I didn't. What was the fighting thing? They were just MMAing all over the place.
It didn't work. They tried something different. I got it, but it didn't work.
My number 10 is Gable Stevenson's putrid debut on NXT Great American Bash versus Baron
Logan. Yeah,
Disaster. That got such heat. People just shit all
it's
over
such
him.
a bad match.
It was such a bad match. He was so bad. He's not ready. He's been in development for like 5 years. It's like
Mhm.
it was so bad that people, rightly so, it was like he's never, I think he's gone.
Yeah, no, I don't think they're gonna bring him back.
I mean, I just remember it being like, this is the big Olympic
He
guy.
brought him out at Mania, like just to show him,
Go
and
like,
then that's it.
hey, I'm here.
Yeah,
And that was his debut.
yeah.
And another loser I have is Baron Corbin. So that's a whole other thing. Like he's there, but I thought that was such a putrid match, and he was really bad. Number
It
9.
was terrible. My number nine is the Devil storyline in AEW in general, as a whole. It's boring. No one cares about it anymore. Everyone on Twitter hates it. It's dragged on way too long. And I don't okay, who right now, if it wasn't Punk, is gonna matter if it's the Devil. It's gonna be like what? Oh, Jack Perry? Cool. Thanks. Move on. Like no, it's not gonna be anyone worth this storyline. And it's also just dragged on way too long. I'm so tired of it.
I have my, I will, it's so bad I have it up higher. Okay, just wait. I agree. My number 9 is the referee botching the spot between John Moxley and Ray Phoenix after John gets clunked in the head, and then he's like,
He
not
just
knowing what's going on, he
counts
goes, "Come on, do
and
it,"
he stops
and
the
he has
count.
to do it again, and
And
he's
he
like,
jumps on his head
I'm
again.
like, what is the hell is going? It was so bad,
Yeah.
and the fact that Moxley, what happened? They're like, Moxley's like out, and they're like, clunk me again.
I don't know.
It was such a noticeably bad mess.
Yeah, and the thing that I have like with AEW is that they have a lot of those sometimes with like the miscommunication between the referees and the wrestlers sometimes, and you could see it. Like they don't really play it off well. Like it looked weird, like watching it live. Like
Why
they have
was he
no,
going like under? He was the referee's like going under his shoulder. Like I'm like,
I don't
what are you
know.
doing?
He was like rubbing the
Guy's
mat.
knocked out. So that was my number 9. Okay, number
Eight, I had the Raw after Mania. It was so
so
underwhelming
bad.
because it was like obviously everyone was excited and it was so Vince McMahon. I remember like seeing on Twitter Vince McMahon changed all the plans, whatever, had this match set up, and then had Brock Lesnar turn on Cody for no reason that we still never figured out. I mean, we would talk. That was our basis of 3 shows was why did he turn on him?
Just wait. Just wait.
But yeah, mine was just the Raw after Mania in general because we got nothing. It was nothing. We got nothing.
Remember, everybody was like, "This is the worst Raw after Mania in the history."
Yeah, it was
It
terrible.
was just terrible. My number 8 was Adam Cole injures himself again, jumping off the ring ramp to the ring and injuring his, tearing his ankle or whatever.
Yeah,
Now, this is after he came back from the brain injury. Um, and on that note, I just have massive injuries of
it's
everybody.
terrible.
The
Yeah,
whole theme of 2023 was what everyone injured themselves.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson 3 times. It just was injury city over
Yeah.
there. So that's what I had. And number 7.
This is probably my funniest one because it's not really a moment. It's just something in general. And it's just John Moxley's bleeding.
Should
I was
have
like,
had that. That's brilliant. I meant to do that. No, but
just
how?
in general, just in general. It's
He's just
just
like, hey, you know what? I want to bleed. Like, I don't
like
get
I
this.
think when they like, when they plan out the matches, he's like, all right, but when do I bleed? That's his only word. That's
All I want to know is when do I bleed? What
yeah.
part?
That's what I had because I just think he does it so much that it's not cool anymore. Like it's not like special. You know what I mean? Like it's not like it doesn't mean anything.
I want to know something. When he was Dean Ambrose in WWE, was he like this?
That's the thing. He wanted to be like that, but they didn't allow him to because they didn't have color. So that's he's always been like that deathmatch guy, but they didn't let him do what he wanted to
Before
do.
he came there.
Yeah,
Because I
yeah.
couldn't figure out when in his development did he become this bloodthirsty
Oh yeah,
weirdo.
he was always like that. That's why he left WWE because he felt like he was like, closeted. So I mean,
So he left the WWE so he could go bleed. That is insane. But I believe it. I mean,
yeah.
I've just never
I was
seen
like,
so
I
much
was like, he's
blood
gonna.
out of one person in my life.
I was like, he's gonna like this one. So
Does
that's what
Renee Paquette think it's okay that her
I
husband is
don't know.
bleeding all the time?
I
Like,
have
I
no
don't get it.
idea.
Number 7, Cody and Brock series for no reason. What was the point? What is the point? The
Yeah,
point was to just dilute and delay Cody getting back to Roman. I
yeah,
couldn't stand it because
yeah.
you never told me what the problem was. And then you go all the way back around to the match you like, and they shake hands at the end. Like, what was that about? I
Yeah.
thought it was bad. I did not like it in any, because I couldn't figure out why I was watching this.
I thought, yeah, it's just in general, yeah, because we talked about how much like there was no purpose to the fights that were going on.
It really bothered me. I was watching it like I'm watching 3 matches of this, and there's
Yeah,
still no reason this is happening.
yeah, no, I agree.
And then I tied it though, because I couldn't figure out where to put this. LA Knight and Bray Wyatt's glow in the dark match.
Yeah,
That is Bray Wyatt's big return.
yeah,
And now looking back on it, how sad.
like how sad that was his last thing we saw of him.
The
Yeah,
glow in the dark was so gimmicky
it
and
made
bad.
LA Knight look so stupid.
Look stupid, terrible idea. Um, and I'm really sad for Bray that that was the match.
We'll be left on.
Yeah. Okay. Number 6.
Number 6, I have Natalia's championship matches in 2023. Why is she still getting championship matches? I don't know, but it needs to stop. It can't continue in 2024.
I like we're putting Natalia in here. I'm like, and didn't she get squashed in like 30 seconds
Dude,
by
that's what I'm saying. And then she fought
was that
again.
with Rhea Ripley?
And yeah, it was Natalia versus Ripley, and then she had another championship match after that on Raw. Like, why is she always the one that gets these championship matches for no reason?
I mean, really bad. Really, it's a good point. My number 6 was Jack Perry's miserable heel turn and then getting suspended because he's so intense on this glass incident. He wanted to put a glass through the car, and look what it ended up doing. Where is
Mhm.
he? We'll get into that later. But I mean, I think the whole thing was a massive disaster.
I agree.
And now look what happened. He's in the Punk thing. I just think it's terrible. And we haven't heard from him at all,
No.
which is probably the double thing. But go ahead. Okay, number 5.
I have, as much as it pains me to put this in here, I have Jeff Jarrett versus Jeff Hardy in the Texas Chainsaw match on AEW. It was so stupid. It was so dumb. It was so dumb. I can't. I hate these gimmick matches they do, the advertised matches. And then he comes out to swinging a chainsaw. Like, come on, dude. What are we doing here?
Well, interestingly enough, that was your 5. My 5 was the use of vets on AEW. Adam Copeland, Ric Flair, Sting, Jeff Hardy, Paul White, Jeff Jarrett.
I agree.
Embarrassing.
Yeah.
Embarrassing.
It just really feels like he just like uses
Embarrassing.
them for like views. That's basically what it looks like.
But I don't want to see Jeff Hardy looking like this or a They're
'Cause he
all
can still go. They can still go a little bit. That's the thing. And I'll be honest, they all like I just saw it again yesterday. They did a whole other podcast and they're saying how they just feel underused and like they said they know we're old, but we can be helping out the younger guys, and they just throw us in these random trios matches for no reason. It's stupid.
Well, as you know, Sting's my all-time favorite, and I can't stand it. And I know they're publicizing this retirement match in 2024. I hope it's good, but I'm not. And Ric Flair, I don't know what's going on with him. All right, number 4.
Well, Tony 4 is just Tony Khan for me. I just feel like, and in general, I just think it's the use of what you said. I think it's the signing of Ric Flair. It's so like tone deaf in 2023. I think the way he handled the whole situation with everything there, I just don't think he's had a good year. I don't think he's booked well, and I don't think he's done what he was doing in 2022, which was probably their best year they've ever had. I think it was a step back. It really was.
You know, you make the best point. You really do. 2023 was a massive setback from where they
Yeah,
were.
because 2022 was like,
They
oh
were
my God.
hot. They were like, it was, you
Yeah,
could see. And then it
yeah,
just all went to crap.
yeah.
My number 4 was Austin 3 versus your boy John Cena, night 1 at WrestleMania. I thought that was god awful.
It's terrible.
You bring out John Cena,
With all the kids.
and the kids were there, and to have him just lay down for Austin Theory. Like, what is that? That's how you opened WrestleMania? I was so upset. So John Cena, as we know, continued through the year to lay down, like, he never won.
And it just comes down to also John Cena not being selfish enough. It really does. Because I think he should be a little more selfish.
Don't you remember watching that match going, this is terrible? It was a really bad match.
Being there, I was just like this. I was so excited to see Cena live at WrestleMania again. And I was like, wow, this is what we get.
Yeah, that was my 4. Number 3.
My number 3, I have Damian Priest's Money in the Bank run. I think it's terrible. I was so excited for it. It was good in the beginning, but I'll be honest, like I was talking about my uncle, like I don't think there's a path for him anymore. I think he's gonna lose it whenever he cashes in. You got Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes, all these guys on Raw, Gunther, who's next, Jey Uso. Damian Priest doesn't fit here. Like he's not Drew McIntyre. There's nowhere for him to win this championship. There's nowhere. And I just think they've done a terrible job with it. They should have pulled the trigger early.
I agree 100%. I think it was a real misstep. He was hot coming out of a backlash. And now
Then you have LA Knight win.
I don't even understand why they're delaying it so much. It's to the point where now you realize we're going.
Because now we're past it. I don't even want it.
Are we now in the new year?
He's held it for 7 months.
Is that a record?
I don't even know. It's getting there. I mean,
it's so botched.
Yeah.
All right. My number 3 is CM Punk getting fired from AEW and the whole debacle.
Mhm.
I cannot believe that he goes back. Didn't he get injured again with his I'm trying to remember when the tricep
He returned twice.
Right. There was a time he fell in the year before.
Yeah.
Then he has the big thing in 2020, the thing. Then he has the press conference in 2022. Then he comes back in 2023 in June.
Mhm.
And then within record time, all things blow up and he goes crazy, supposedly, and with the Jack Perry thing. And then to make the whole thing worse was Tony Khan coming out in Chicago going, I've never felt so we were going to be killed and I had to protect.
And that's part of why I had Tony Khan in here. He didn't deal with the situation well enough at all. At the end of the day, I know you let him go, but look what it's doing to your competition. It's done is make them a powerhouse now.
And I don't know why they couldn't have figured this out. I mean, and then what even made it worse was finding out that Bryan Danielson was on the committee to determine to get rid of Punk.
I don't know how you have wrestlers.
They must all feel like such idiots at this point because look at what's happening.
Yeah.
But I guess they stand by their thing. He was toxic to them. We weren't there. Maybe he was. I don't know.
And now you saw the report that it's for life, the NDA they signed, which was crazy. Like I can't believe that. That's crazy that we're never gonna hear that story.
Right. They can't talk about it.
No, for life.
And they both signed it?
CM Punk and Ace Steel both signed NDAs that they can't speak about the brawl out for life. CM Punk's lawyer reported that.
That's really interesting. Something
Like,
must
how bad was it? Like, that's crazy.
it had to be really bad.
Yeah.
It had to be really bad. Anyways, I just thought that was horrible.
So my number two was John Cena's usage just in 2023, like in general.
There you go.
I just think it's stupid. It was mainly Solo versus Solo Sikoa at Crown Jewel. It was terrible. I just think it's dumb that way that they, he's not even like a special attraction anymore. Like, why does Brock Lesnar get to be the champion still and come back and do whatever the hell he wants, but then Cena comes back and he's like a joke. It's stupid. I think it's
It
annoying.
really upset me. It was really, you're taking this great guy who's the kids love, everybody
And my little
loves.
brother sees John Cena as like a meme now. My little brother doesn't know. Think about it. He doesn't know like what he was when I was a kid. Like that's the thing is that like it makes what people that watch now are like, oh, who's this old guy?
Right.
He's
Who's this old guy? And he's
Meanwhile,
losing.
him and Brock Lesnar are the same age.
Yeah, it was terrible. My number two, I just couldn't believe this. My number two was Shane McMahon returning at WrestleMania, and in the moment he leapfrogs and tears his quad,
Remember how confused we were? We were like, what's going
and
on?
then he lays there in agony, and then Miz and Snoop Dogg improvise, and Snoop does the people's elbow. I'm like, how is this possible?
I
Did he,
thought like being there live, I thought like, oh, he's faking getting hurt because now someone else is gonna come out. But he really was hurt, and it was so awkward because we were like, what the hell are we doing?
like the match literally just hit this thud, and you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
So it was really a stinker.
And then
Okay.
my one, it's funny, I just thought it was pretty cool that I have the same person in my best and worst list of 2023. I have CM Punk, just his all-in fiasco in general and the way that that whole thing got handled as one. I thought it was terrible. I don't understand what happens with. I think Jack Perry's immature. Um, I just thought it was. I just think the whole way that the whole thing that happened, it just took a huge dump on the whole pay-per-view as because that's all everyone talked about after that. And I just think it comes to we talked about it. I just think it comes to I think it just got to a point where Punk just did not want to be there and he was trying to get fired.
I know that was your theory. Yep.
Yeah, and but that's just what it had to be because now you see Punk now. I mean, I know that he really doesn't have a choice and he has to be on good behavior at WWE because it's his last chance. But like he's at NXT, he's helping out the people backstage. He's at the Performance Center training with the young guys. I mean, he wasn't doing this at AEW, so I mean, I don't know what it is.
You know, it really, and I have to say, I've watched wrestling most of my life, so decades.
Hmm.
This really stunk. This whole CM Punk thing at AEW was just took over. It like sucked the life out of the thing
For
from me.
everything. Like even that brawl out, like it took that whole thing they had and then and just flushed it down the toilet. That's why that's the thing. That's why it's one on my list because it really was the worst moment. Like you have someone that people wanted to see so bad. You make a whole new show for him.
I know in my whole new show Collision
He's
that he
kicking people off the show. He runs the show, and then you fire him, and then come out and say what you said. The whole thing in general was terrible, but it just shows you how big Punk is because now he's also the best moment of WWE of history. Because
I mean,
the
literally, right. At best and worst was the Punk moments.
and
Yeah.
he's literally opening up doors that WWE hasn't had in years because now they're considering signing with Warner Brothers, which would be huge for WWE, and it would literally take AEW out of the running for like Warner Brothers is considering changing from AEW to WWE on their programming, which is
That would be insane. That would be, I mean, that would be kind of
all I'm gonna say is that if what MJF is saying is true, they better not let him talk WWE because I think he can't go there. He can't because
MJF. Yeah.
it'll I think that'll be I think that'll be the downfall because I don't know what you do after that.
My number one was the Devil Story in AEW because I
It's
cannot
one.
believe
Yeah,
how awful it is.
yeah. I can't believe it's
I
one.
can't believe it's one because this started off with this Adam Cole and MJF thing, which was bizarre from the beginning. Then we had all the segments of them being the muchachos and the buddies and all that. It was funny up to a point. Then it goes south because Adam's injured.
Then they start this whole storyline.
Then the storyline comes up with the devil and people getting beat up, and there's people in the black, and then the way it just looks cheap. Like they dim the lights so they can have you lay down. They dim the lights so you can do this. They put the writing, the whole execution of this is to the point where I don't care.
And let me ask you something, because me and my uncles have not theories, but I've seen people theorize about it, and I do think it's like worth like talking about it. Do you think there was anything inside AEW that started that storyline, maybe thinking Punk would come back and it would be him? Or do you think it was they always knew who it was going to be? Because I just think that there's no way it could. There's no one that I care about that this storyline has dragged on this long about that it's going to be. Oh my God, I can't believe it's him.
The only
Besides,
one, the only one,
besides CM Punk,
right. I think this story changed.
I that's what I genuinely do think it was.
I think this was supposed to be a shorter story. I think I have a feeling that now I'm thinking it's Adam Cole.
Yeah, but he's legit injured, so that's why I don't know who's going
Right.
to
So
be.
I don't know what that, so
Yeah.
that's why you're not seeing the devil wrestle.
Mhm.
Maybe because it's Adam. I don't know. It's so I thought it was Jack Perry. But if it's Jack Perry,
It
why
doesn't
do
make
you
any sense. Yeah,
care?
it
Why do we care? The only one that would make any sense would be Adam Cole.
yeah.
But my point is, so what
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I'm like literally watching this, and either A, they need to pump up the story better and move it better, or get rid of it.
Yeah, I don't
To me,
know.
it's so disappointing and bad. And I was toying with whether putting CM Punk one or the Devil, but just kind of from a TV perspective, the Devil story is just not working.
No, I mean, and the thing is that it was kind of cool at the beginning, but like they don't have a direction of what they want to where they want to go. That's the only thing. It's
Or they do now, and they changed it because everyone was injured and got fired. Punk is
yeah.
out. Go, I don't know. Okay,
Um,
you have honorable mentions?
I have an honorable mention, and it hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
It's so CM Punk's first match in WWE is the 26th, and I will be there because it's in Madison Square Garden. So
Well,
I'm
I
going.
have something to tell you.
Are you gonna go the next day?
No, I was going to tell you that next week they're here in LA
No,
and
I think the
Punk
next
is
day they're there.
wrestling.
Yeah,
I think they're here on the 30th. And I was
yeah,
thinking of going, and I heard CM Punk was wrestling Mysterio.
yeah. He's wrestling Dom at MSG, so that's why his
Oh, so
first
you're
match.
doing the same thing?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, you're going to a live show.
A live show, yeah.
That's what they're doing. They're
Yeah,
obviously
they're doing the holiday tour.
they're doing the
Yeah,
holiday tour. So I
yeah,
was going to go next week. They're here
yeah.
at the
No,
30th.
that yeah, because so originally, so they reported originally CM Punk's. I'm guessing they want to save his first match on TV to be at um the Rumble.
Rumble.
So I'm guessing this is to get some matches under his belt and whatever and sell tickets because these live shows are just as good as like the
I was going to ask you. So I used to go to the live shows, and I used to think it kind of was dull because you didn't have like all the.
yeah. No, it's a cool, honestly really it's a different vibe, but it's cool because it's like if it's just that home crowd, it's like you're chilling with like it's like the only people that go to these live shows are the hardcore
The
fans. You know what I
hardcore
mean?
fans.
Because they
Yeah,
don't
yeah, yeah.
care.
Right.
But they just so originally they reported it's pretty funny that I just saw on Twitter. Originally they reported CM Punk's first match back, the one in LA, December 30th. And then they reported December 26th, MSG, CM Punk first match back. And once I saw that, I was like, I have to
Wait,
I
you're
have to.
going next week?
It's on the 26th, the day after
Oh, I
Christmas.
thought it was January. Oh
No,
God.
December.
Wait, so you're gonna see him before if I go.
4 days, yeah, 4 days before. I'm gonna record it though.
All right, I'm gonna go too. I gotta get my ticket.
Yeah,
Um,
the tickets weren't bad, and I was like, I mean, the fact that I could be there for CM Punk's first match back at WWE, like I had to go. And the person, my boy just texted me this and said AEW was World End pay-per-view, 7,923 tickets sold. WWE MSG live event, 16,150 tickets sold for a live event.
isn't the World's End though the night that Punk is here on the 30th?
Is that what that is?
I think World's End is
No, I
just
think it's the third. I thought it was New Year's, or is it the 30th?
it's the 30th.
Yeah.
Um, my honorable mentions are I have three. What happened to Dr. Britt Baker, DMD?
She's taking some. She's the devil.
Share with Adam, or she the devil?
She might be the devil.
Because she has had nothing to do.
Literally nothing.
My other one is Monday Night Raw goes on too long with too many mid-level, C-level card people in a 3 hour show. It is intolerable to watch.
The middle hour is always the hardest to watch.
I'm like, cut the show.
Yeah.
It's just too hard to watch. The other one I had is Roman Reigns not being on very much anywhere. Like it's
Yeah.
getting to the point where like you need to show up.
Yeah, I'm glad now it's like gonna be WrestleMania season. Um, and then one of the things I had on my list that I didn't forgot to put for best moments was everyone just getting absolutely ripped. Randy Orton is enormous. AJ Styles is enormous. CM Punk is enormous. I don't understand what these guys are on. I don't really care. I just think it's
I
hilarious.
don't care. They're on the juice, but obviously, it's the only thing that's
Triple
gonna
H does not Triple H does not do doesn't care about the wellness policy anymore, I'm guessing.
apparently, and I remember when that whole policy came out. Uh,
Yeah,
the question. So classic random Clipsman says they said that Jack Perry wouldn't be the devil. Sean Sapp confirmed it's not going to be Jungle Boy.
so who I don't
Warner
understand.
Brothers is in talks with
Well, it
Paramount
has to be Adam
Plus.
Cole.
So I think it's Adam Cole.
It has to be. It has to.
It has to be Adam Cole, unless it's Adam Cole and Britt Baker. I think it's Adam Cole.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it has to be. I mean, there really isn't anyone else I care about. I mean, Wardlow, it could be Wardlow. He hasn't been there, but I mean, who cares? I don't care.
And
Don't care.
what was whole mess too? Like they ruined him too. And then Warner Brothers is in talks with Paramount Plus, so WWE and AEW could be in trouble.
They basically said and I don't know if you saw that so Fightful reported that WWE went to went to Warner Brothers because that's the one they want. Because like WWE doesn't want to be on FX or whatever. They want to be on TNT, TBS. So they went to WWE and Warner Brothers shut them down. They said we're not interested. Punk returns, has done all these numbers, all these sales, ratings, whatever, and now Warner Brothers is interested again. And they said that Punk is literally the reason that those doors opened back up. And that's just crazy to me that Tony Khan firing him might be the reason that they lose their deal and are going to be struggling to go somewhere because they really are. Like everyone's saying that this is a big deal. Like if they lose their partnership with Warner Brothers, like they might be screwed.
And in the way this all went down, it does seem like I don't think Punk didn't quit. They terminated him.
Yeah, I mean they fired him. I mean I don't know if he was going to really stay there, but they chose Jack Perry over him. Basically, they chose this kid for that, and now look where they are now. I mean,
Now.
they're still
Well,
around, but
yeah.
I like I said, I don't know how true it is. He might just be doing the bit still, but he was on Sports Illustrated and said, "I am a free agent on January 1st, this on the day after New Year's, MJF." And if that's true,
When was that? When did that come out?
like
When,
last week after the Iron, he was doing stuff for the Iron Claw, and they asked him, "So are you really a free agent? People think you resigned." He goes, "Why would I lie?" He goes, "I'm a free agent the day after the pay-per-view." He goes, "We'll reassess after the pay-per-view." But like, if he really is a free agent, like WWE has to do everything to try to go get him. Like, imagine he shows up at the Rumble at the end of that month. It would.
would be
I honestly think I'm not kidding. I know that AEW wouldn't just go under, but I do think if he showed up in WWE, it would. I think they would go under within a year, 2 years. Who's gonna watch? Who's gonna be the face of your company after that?
if they pull off getting
The
MJF.
part. It's just a part of me feels like MJF like wants to be the face. Would rather be the number one guy in AEW than be like the 3 or 4 in
I think so
in
too.
WWE.
That's my feeling too.
Yeah.
Because he's
Because
really
at
got
the end of the day, he's so young. He's 26. He can go there in 4 years at 30 and still be
right.
super.
I don't think he needs to go there right now.
He can
Because
go there in 4 years and be the guy.
right
Yeah.
now, WWE is so stacked.
Well, I think AEW is going to be his home for 20 years. No. But I do think he'll be in WWE, but I don't think it has to
But
be
it
now.
might, but now you bring a good point. Maybe it's not the time for him to go, given that there's so many people.
There's no spot I mean, think about it. If he goes there right now, who does he fight?
Where would he go? Who would he
Who
fight?
does he fight at WrestleMania? Like, I mean, I would love to see him against a ton of people, like him against Kevin Owens, guys like that. But he's not gonna when he can headline these pay-per-views in AEW, he'd probably just stay there.
I think they'd have to promise him some kind of guarantee that he's going to be really top some. I just can't see him going there just to be lost.
Yeah,
And we still haven't seen the debut of Jade Cargill
which I think will be at the Rumble.
at the Rumble. She's going to be
Yeah,
at the so hopefully we will be at the Rumble, both of us.
I'm honestly planning on
Want to
being.
just I do want to the best comment of the year though was your comment when you're like, so WWE makes us put 3 lines in and AEW makes us do an essay. I can't
Because
like
it's for everything I've done with WWE has been so easy. They respond quick. They even if you don't even like sometimes like when you don't even get like the thing right away, and if you just email them, they'll just send it to you. They don't care. It's like it's so much easier. And then I was trying to go to this one, the most recent one that was in at Long Island for AEW, and I had to fill out like 30 pages. And I
I
was
had
like,
to
I don't
do
know
an
what to do.
essay. I had to do an essay. I
I was
had
like,
to
I don't
give
want
them
to do this
my
anymore.
numbers, but then it doesn't matter. So it's very frustrating because
Weird.
we want to cover AEW.
Yeah.
Let us have the
I just
access,
don't know why you wouldn't want as like
many people as you
many
can
people as possible.
that are
That's exactly what
interested.
they want.
Exactly. Well, good job. These were great, great.
Oh yeah, that's
These are
funny.
this was a great list. I do have one other top moment of 2023 that was meeting you at WrestleMania and
Yes.
launching this show. Amazing.
Yeah.
I had the best time
Mhm.
meeting you, and it was really a highlight of the year for me. And look, the
All right,
year
for me too. Yeah.
was so great. Like I have that at like one of my
No,
top.
yeah. I was gonna put. I was gonna say before on my thing like just going because originally I wasn't gonna go to Mania. It was too expensive. I was like, you know what, F it. This is my first ever media thing. Let me just go. I was super nervous, like because I literally never interviewed anybody in my life. That was the first time I ever interviewed anybody.
Which was
And I
shocking because I was like, I was like, no, it's really
Yeah.
good.
The
Yeah.
next day, then I saw you walking around. You were like, "Oh, like, can I do? Is your spot available?" And I was like, "Yeah, we're here, whatever." And then we ended up just like, clicking whatever. The best part was Carmelo saying "your boy," which was hilarious to me. He goes, "Yeah, your boy just interviewed me."
Oh,
It
he
was
just interviewed
hilarious.
me. I'm like, oh yeah?
It was
What
so funny. It was so
so
funny. And then
funny.
we ended up being seeing each other at Mania, which I thought was
The
great.
Mania thing was great.
Yeah.
I
And
never
then
we laughed
no
so
one,
hard.
no one will know
Laughed
about
hard.
No one will know about this. Like, no one knows what we're talking about. But the car ride home from night 2 of Mania might have been the funniest day of my life. Like that's I think that's where we
Was
really
it
got
because I didn't
along.
know where I was going or
That's
we
where we really got along. And Michael refused to take the tolls. He wanted to take the freeway home. He didn't want to go on the freeway.
I didn't want to go on the
He
freeway. I
didn't want to
chose
go on
the
the
road.
freeway. So that's what he was freaking out about because we ended up on the freeway.
And I didn't know where I was going. And I live here. Because you're at the hotel that you
We
were
were at
at,
the
right?
hotel.
And then we ran into like a weird, it was weird. Like I
Yeah.
couldn't get us to the hotel. And I lived there. But you know
Yeah.
what? I think I was exhausted
Oh,
from
it was
Mania. But
20
weren't we
hours of
laughing in the
wrestling.
car? Were we laughing about not only how
No, we
bad
were
the
dying
driving
laughing.
was, but
We were dying laughing about oh my God, what were we laughing about? I think it was the person you were sitting next to at Mania, the
oh,
because they were going like crazy.
well, they were just ridiculous. They were horrible. And then, of
Yeah.
course, all the people in the whole thing was just insane. And I remember you
Huh.
guys would walk around. You were walking around to try to find, or you just wanted to be out in the crowd.
Yeah. That was the other thing. Worst moments of the of WWE
Being
2023.
locked in WrestleMania.
And then you had to ask for the TV to get turned on. And then they all left
You
you.
know something? You want
They
to know
all left
something?
you for the press conference.
I remember the same thing happened at the Daytime Emmys this past week. The press is there, their live show is going on,
Mhm.
and the monitors aren't working. So of course I'm going like, are you going to turn this on? We
Yeah.
can't hear anything.
Once again, inside that was also LA, so I don't know what their problem is with LA and being in press box. I don't know what
But it did say on they're doing that with Royal Rumble. There's a press box
Yeah, you have a choice. You have a choice now.
choice.
Yeah. I like so the same thing, that's what it was at SummerSlam. It was press box or ticket. So I chose ticket. I was like, I'm doing ticket. I was like, I don't care. So
All right. So we're wishing everybody happy holidays, happy New
holidays.
Year. All that
There's
great.
no There's no Raw this week. It's just
Oh, good. I don't have to watch 3 hours of
they're just
filler.
doing best of 2023, which I think is another best moment of wrestling is Triple H giving them their time off, which they deserve. I think it's awesome. They've had like 10 days off, which is pretty cool. Um,
There's no Raw. Is there SmackDown?
no, they're both SmackDown was taped from last week. So I mean
Everybody gets off to
they
go
get
home.
a long week off and then they're doing the day one version of Raw, which is gonna be stacked. They have 4 championship matches set for that day.
Right. And you
And
were going to
then
say, well, wait a minute, they're not off because they're doing the holiday tour.
so yeah, the whoever's gonna be in the holiday tour will be at the holiday tour. Because that's like their big
Is Roman in the holiday tour?
no, no. Um, I know, let me see. Actually want to see like
I think it's Punk.
but
I think that
there's a lot of other good
Robbie
ones.
said you can come back, Punk, but we're making you wrestle over the holidays.
I want to see who the because we definitely have to have a show after this so we can talk about it. Because it's gonna be also just props to Dom for getting for being Orton's first match back and CM Punk's
Didn't they just sign him to a multi-year deal?
5 years.
So they're believing in him.
Yeah, and I think that's great. So what I will be watching, WWE returns to the Garden for the annual holiday tour. Matchups include Seth freaking Rollins versus Drew McIntyre for the World Heavyweight Championship match.
So that's what we will have too,
Yeah, so I'm guessing Seth Rollins will win.
right?
But it'll still be. It's crazy that we're getting this. Cody Rhodes versus Shinsuke in a bull rope match. So
Oh,
CM Punk versus Dirty Dom, first match in over 9 years. Sami Zayn and Jey Uso versus the Judgment Day for the Tag Team Championship. And then it says will also be. Oh no, Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch for the Raw Women's Championship.
wait a minute. So I have a feeling this is the. I have a feeling
It's
the
probably
same,
gonna be. It'll probably be the same card or
right?
around ish.
Right. Oh my God. Okay, so then we have to
Yeah,
compare notes on the live tour if I
yeah.
go and you go.
Because I went last year to no 2 years ago to the holiday tour because and that was still like during COVID, but they were like opening up more, and we were supposed to get like everyone like Roman, Seth Rollins, everybody, and that's when Roman got COVID, and they ended up like half the guys didn't show up, and then we ended up getting Edge. Edge flew from Montreal to MSG that day because they couldn't get anybody, and it was pretty cool because like my little brother was there, and he had never seen anybody. So we got a Edge on a holiday tour, which is crazy.
So basically, we're going to see Iron Claw, then we're going to have the holiday tour, then we have to compare notes,
So
and then
I would say
back after the Raw.
the best it would probably be like we could like do the day after Christmas, the 26th. We can do I mean no, that's what I'm gonna watch.
I won't see it till the. Oh, you're talking about Iron Claw.
Yeah, but I'm gonna see so I guess New Year's, the day after New Year's would probably be the best day to do the thing because we'll have Iron Claw and then if we both go to the tour,
And what about Raw?
well
Monday,
there's not gonna be a Raw.
no, the following week.
Oh yeah, that'll be the day one version of Raw. So we could cover that
I
too.
was thinking we should do
For the Tuesday.
movie, the live tour, and Raw, and do the Tuesday.
So the Tuesday after that will be out. It would be all of that, which would be pretty. So that would be a really good amount.
And we'll have World's End on AEW.
So it says LA Knight is advertised for your show also, but not mine, not for
I
New
have the
York.
same people as you.
Yeah, it's the same. No, the matches aren't released besides Punk, but um, it says Punk, Cody Rhodes, Becky Lynch, Seth Rollins, LA Knight, Drew McIntyre. That's who they're advertising on the front page.
And LA Knight.
Yeah, so you have LA Knight instead, but it should be fun.
I'm thinking it, yeah. I was talking to somebody about going, and I didn't realize they were doing it in New York too. Yeah.
Yeah, 4 days before.
All righty.
But that was a good one.
It was a good one. We close on a good one. Yay. All right. Have a great Christmas. Happy holidays to your family,
You too.
your little brother.
I'm sure he'll get a lot of wrestlers for Christmas.
At Christmas. Hope you get your shirt.
I think I will.
Get your shirt. And I'll talk to you live on our next
Yeah,
live stream in the new year.
sounds good.